After unlocking the spore code, the Ministry has its eyes on a new goal: fortifying ecosystems against climate change. They've been called to a local forest facing drought, erosion and plant stress. Minister Captain Compost, Professor Myco, Mrs. Saprophyte and Pip stand in front of a massive Fungal Fortification Command Center tent with screens showing weather reports and soil health data.
Right, team. Today we're tackling a monumental task, strengthening this forest against climate extremes. The trees here are struggling, and if they fall, so does the ecosystem. But with our fungi friends, we can fortify it from the ground up.
Time for the Fungal Fortification Force. Mushrooms, assemble!
Quite right, Pip. Today we're not just planting spores, we're building a resilient ecosystem. Mycelium is the forest's invisible armor, and we're here to reinforce it.
Here's your cap, Captain. We're ready to make this forest drought-proof, erosion-proof, and maybe even pest-proof.
Excellent. Now let's talk strategy. What fungi are best for this, Compost? Glad you asked, Minister. For drought resistance, we'll need mycorrhizal fungi. These little beauties will bond with the tree roots, extending their reach for water and nutrients. Trees get stronger, soil holds more water. It's win-win. Here we'll deploy soil-binding saprophytes like the king oyster mushroom. They'll create a living net, binding the soil together so it won't wash away with every rainfall.
Mycelium weaving through the soil, a natural web of strength. It's like fungi are hugging the earth itself.
And pests? For pests, we've got entomopathogenic fungi, the pest police. These mushrooms work with the ecosystem, naturally balancing insect populations without a drop of pesticide.
So, we're basically creating a fungal fortress for the forest. It's like the shroom shield, protecting plants, soil and water all at once.
The team gears up and heads into the forest, carrying bags of mycelium spawn, watering cans and planting tools. They fan out to strategic spots, planting fungi with care. Mrs. Saprophyte is happily singing to a patch of king oysters she's planting along an eroding hillside.
Bind little spores, make the soil strong and stable so the hillside may live long.
Meanwhile, Pip has enlisted the help of a team of volunteer squirrels to spread spores around tree roots. He hands each squirrel a tiny mushroom backpack filled with mycorrhizal spores.
Go forth, furry fortifiers, help the forest grow.
Captain Compost, standing at the center of a grove, directs his troops like a military commander, his tiny captain's hat slightly askew.
All right, troops. Hydration team, make sure every spore gets a solid drink. Soil binders, settle in and start spreading those mycelial roots. And pest police, stand by for deployment.
Suddenly, a voice calls out, "It's Dr. Glitch back again, this time dressed in safari gear with a skeptical look on his face."
Oh, you fungi folks again? You're telling me mushrooms are going to protect an entire forest against drought and erosion? Preposterous.
Oh, ye of little faith, Glitch. You'll see. Mushrooms are the best guardians nature could ask for. We're not just adding fungi. We're fortifying every layer of this ecosystem.
Bah! Trees have survived for millennia without your meddling fungi. Why change the formula now?
Professor Myco steps forward, holding a bundle of soil teeming with healthy mycelium.
It's simple, Glitch. Trees and fungi have evolved together. They're allies, not competitors. In times of stress, fungi help trees survive, sharing resources, retaining moisture, protecting roots.
Captain Compost nods, adding in his usual style.
Think of fungi as the forest's underground shield, Glitch. We may be small, but we're persistent. This forest will thrive in the face of drought and erosion with the Fungal Fortification Force in place.
Dr. Glitch grumbles but stands back, watching as the team plants more fungi around the forest, creating a network of mycelium to support the trees and soil. Pip and his squirrels finish their work, and the forest floor is dotted with carefully planted mushrooms and fortified soil patches. Minister, addressing the team and the onlookers, says, "We're not just planting mushrooms today, we're building resilience. This mycelium will absorb water, retain nutrients, and create a safety net for the trees, the soil, and every creature in this forest." And so with their fungal allies, the ministry planted not just spores, but a legacy of strength. For as long as the forest would stand, the Fungal Fortification Force would protect it, silently, steadily, through rain, drought, and time. The camera zooms out, showing the team walking out of the forest, leaving behind a landscape fortified with fungi. The trees stand tall, their roots interconnected by a web of mycelium, while the mushrooms nestle into the soil, content as the forest's quiet guardians.